So the term inflammation gets thrown around a lot nowadays, but do you really know what it's doing in your body and why it's an issue? In this video, I'm going to talk about what inflammation is, how to identify it, how to reduce it, and why it's so important to avoid if we can. So let's get started. So what is inflammation? Well, inflammation is a very natural process. It happens as our body's response to pain and injury. So it's basically our body's way of healing itself, and that's called acute inflammation. Just consider if you have an injury to your ankle. Immediately, your body is going to send more blood there, and your ankle is going to start to become more inflamed. And that is your body's way of protecting itself from future injury. So that heat and swelling are actually your body's attempt to heal that area. Or say you have an infection. Well, your body's going to do the same thing. It's going to send infection-fighting cells to that area. You're going to have more of that going on in order to reduce that risk to your body. Because your body just wants to stay healthy and stay alive. Now, when it comes to chronic inflammation, your body has a little bit of confusion. It thinks it has these perceived injuries when there aren't any. So instead of sending those white blood cells to an area to fight off actual diseases, it has these perceived injuries and it's sending all this stuff there, causing swelling, causing inflammation when there isn't actually a problem to be solving. So in that case, you have your joints and organs that have extra cells in there fighting off problems that don't exist. And that is when chronic inflammation happens, and it can lead to a lot of problems with our body, including arthritis, colitis, and Crohn's disease. Not to mention a bunch of unnecessary pain and discomfort. So what leads to inflammation? Why does that even happen in our bodies? So our lifestyle has a direct influence on how much inflammation we have in our bodies. And when I'm talking inflammation, I'm talking about that chronic inflammation that is affected by mood and stress and food and lifestyle. So that means what you eat plays a huge role in how your body is going to respond. You can increase or decrease your inflammation with just your food. All right, so do you have inflammation? How do we even know if we have inflammation? What are the signs and the symptoms? You might have some memory loss or fogginess, joint pain, so if your knees and your elbows, your wrists, your fingers hurt, bloating and puffiness, gas, which isn't always due to inflammation. For example, if you're eating too much broccoli, you might have gas just from that added fiber, which that isn't technically the same as the gas that you would have from inflammation. Digestive upset like constipation, fatigue and lack of energy, headaches, an inability to lose weight, or having weight gain. So all of those are signs that you might have some chronic inflammation. So like I mentioned, there are definitely some foods that cause chronic inflammation. And you can identify those because they're typically those processed foods that are meant to stay on the shelves for a long time. They're not whole foods, they're not very healthy or nutrient dense for you. Foods that contain trans fats, which also you would see in an ingredient list called partially hydrogenated oils, processed sugars, processed meats, refined carbs, which are basically just bleached flours that have all the nutrients stripped out of them, gluten, MSG, vegetables and seed oils can cause inflammation, casein can cause it in dairy products for some people, and alcohol. And definitely, if you're interested in learning more about those, in my video on the 10 foods that cause inflammation, I go into detail in all of those categories. So what are the ways that we can reduce this chronic issue through our lifestyle and our food? Definitely, you want to make sleep a priority. The more good rest you get, the less inflamed you are. Have you ever had a night where you didn't sleep very well and the next morning you felt super puffy? Sleep plays a big role in reducing inflammation. You're going to want to avoid processed foods like manufactured sugars and fats. And I have a video on hidden sugars in foods if you want to check that out so you know what to look out for. Increasing your exercise will definitely help to reduce your overall inflammation. In fact, just walking helps to increase the synovial fluids in your joints, which helps to reduce pain in your joints. Limiting empty carbs like white flour and white sugar is another great way to reduce inflammation. Your body does not like those. You want to help out your kidneys by reducing excess liquids in your body through intermittent fasting and drinking more water on a daily basis. Definitely you want to reduce high sugar snacks and treats and drinks because you want to basically reduce that stress on your body to rid your body of those toxins. Also, avoiding environmental factors, if you can, is a good way to reduce inflammation. So environmental factors include pesticides, pollen, dust, prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs, asbestos, paints, detergents, hairsprays, and food additives. Eat plenty of vegetables. Getting that fiber is really helpful. And then also including as many antioxidant-rich foods as you can is a good way to reduce overall inflammation. In fact, I have a video on the top 18 anti-inflammatory foods that you can check out, so you make sure you incorporate those into your diet, and I will link to that below. And if you're looking to just overhaul your inflammation and finally get rid of it, I have a 30-day program with 30 days of anti-inflammatory meal plans, plus daily emails for how to understand and reduce your inflammation, along with all sorts of other health and wellness information. So check out that, and I've linked to that on your screen. And I will see you in the next video.